It's me. I'm finally making a video. I know it's been a while, but I just finished Casual Vacancy by J.K. Rowling a few minutes ago, and I sort of wanted this to be the first thing I talked about since we're starting our like specific subject videos. So I wanted to just give my initial reactions and opinions of characters, and I just wanted to say that if you haven't read the book, don't watch this because there are going to be spoilers. Anyway, um, overall, it was really well written. It's it's a very strange book, I think is the easiest way to put it. It's definitely not something I would have picked up if it wasn't written by like my idol. Um, it has a lot of sexual content, and I was very uncomfortable reading it sometimes because my only thought was, this is like my beloved child author writing all of these sexual things, and Harry Potter's just so innocent because it is supposed to be a children's book, and you know, the most that you really hear about in there is snogging, and it's not even like, laid out in detail. So it was just a little uncomfortable almost sometimes reading those parts. I just didn't really know how to react to them. Um, but JK definitely has a fantastic style of writing. The subject of Casual Vacancy is not the most fascinating, I would say. I mean, it's just about a little town in England, but she develops the character so well that you have to keep reading it, I think. And it ends up being a really great novel, even if the end does make you want to bawl your eyes out. I didn't actually cry, um, but I was definitely on the verge of tears. It was very sad. So my basic thoughts are sort of just going to talk about the characters. Mary Fairbrother, I do not really like her that much. I know she's like grieving over her dead husband, and I just thought it was strange that she wasn't really a central character, even though the book basically revolves around her husband's death. I just thought that was very different. I didn't really expect that. I expected her to play a bigger role, like maybe hear more about her and Gavin's, like, if there was to be an affair between the two of them, to hear more about that. Obviously, there wasn't because she was really rude to him. My thoughts on Gavin are that he's sort of an asshole, but I don't think that it's his fault. I think it's his first wife's fault. I think that she sort of like screwed him up with the way she treated him and like cheated on him and didn't really have any respect for him. And I just thought he was pathetic the whole time. I wanted Kay to leave him. It was just really frustrating. I really like Kay. Even though she's like delusional to stay with Gavin throughout most of the book, I think that she's a good person at heart, and I think that she does her best in everything that she does. And it's just really nice to see her caring so much about a family that she knows so little of, the Whedons. And her daughter is an interesting character because you see a really good side of her through Andrew. You know what I mean? Like, he only sees the best parts of her, and then when she's at home with her mom and Gavin, you only hear like the really bad parts about her slamming doors and being rude to Gavin, which I can understand. She's obviously upset about being moved from Hackney to Pegford. I definitely get that. I remember feeling that way when I moved from Indiana, so that's totally understandable, but I just think it's funny how, teenage boys, he's like idolizing this girl, and she's not really as fantastic as um, he thinks that she is. Andrew, I admired through most of the book. I think that he's a little stupid for being so head over heels for Gaia, but it's to be expected, I think, of a boy of that age. I just don't know. I think he was one of my favorite characters of the novel, just because The only bad thing he ever really did was because his father is such a terrible person, and I freaking hate his dad. And I hate his mom for staying with his dad. That makes me so angry. Like, if there's domestic violence, you need to get yourself out of that situation. And it's very upsetting that, like, his mother is watching her husband, like, beat her children and isn't doing anything about it but, like, sobbing and whining about it. And it's just, you need to be more active. But all of the women in this novel were just, I don't know. I had very little respect for most of the women in this novel. The only one I kind of liked was Parminder. Is that how you say it? I'm not really sure how you say that. And her daughter, Sukhvinder. I'm just gonna call her Jolly because it's easier. Um, I liked Parminder and the way that she was dedicated to continuing on what Barry did. I did not like the way she treated her youngest daughter. I thought that was totally inappropriate. Everybody in this book was basically just a terrible parent. That's what I inferred from this. Because, like, Kay uprooted her daughter. Terry was a heroin addict. Um, Tessa and Colin, like, basically didn't give a crap what Fats did. Ruth and Simon beat their children. Howard and Shirley, like, don't respect their lesbian daughter and, like, praise their son. And then obviously Samantha and Miles were not that great of parents, and it doesn't really seem like they see their daughters very much anyway. So I think that the book definitely shows you that most of the time kids are better than adults, and they're a lot better at perceiving the world than adults are, because I think that Andrew and Fats and Jolly and all of them had it right. But I was definitely surprised by the ending. I didn't expect Robbie to die or Crystal to kill herself. I was just sort of glad she got herself away from Fats and away from her mother and from Obo and all of the shit she had to put up with in the fields. I thought that it was an interesting way to end the book. So, like, starts with a death and ends with a death. It goes full circle pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I definitely liked it. I suggest to everybody that they read it. If you enjoyed Harry Potter and if you're a big fan of JK's, you should at least give it a chance. And, it's 500 pages. It's not too long. I definitely respect JK for stepping out and maybe putting her readers in a little bit of an uncomfortable situation, and even herself, just because, I don't know, it's not something that you expect from her when you read it, but she definitely does a great job, and I think that her message fully comes across, even though it's such a strange background for a book. It sort of reminds me of Gossip Girl, where it's like the narrator knows what's going on with everybody. And I just, like, imagine Jim Dale reading it to me while I was reading it. Like, he reads Harry Potter to me. But it was definitely interesting, and I'm excited to talk about it with you in person. Sorry this video is so long. I love you. Bye.